promised you a right old mixture on the programme this afternoon, and I think I'm doing quite well with that promise. I said art, animals and activities. So let's get back to the art now, and let's meet a lady called Sarah Holt, who is a recent graduate from the Winchester School of Art and joins us in the studio this afternoon. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Thank you very much for coming in. You've brought with you a whole portfolio, haven't you? A collection of your different pieces of artwork, which are currently on display.
Yes, they are. I've got paintings, I've got oil and acrylic, and got some stitch work, because my work's quite diverse. So I work in textiles and in fine art. Okay,
and this is part of the Hampshire Open Studios at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, we're in just at the top of the New Forest in Bartley, which is only about 5 minutes from Totton.
Lovely, what a nice location to put your artwork up. And so, with the ones that you've brought in, do you want to hold up a couple now? And I know we don't have a webcam in this studio, and this is always so difficult on radio to describe artwork and do it justice, but the type of styles that you go for?
Well, in the oils, I tend to be quite expressive, and I usually work with people, and then in the acrylics, I tend to use quite either iconic images of say Marilyn Monroe, or I try and create people from modern day to look quite iconic, like Florence Welch and Paloma Faith. So I work with quite current and quite vintage people as well.
And what's your favourite? Because there are so many people that have looked at those iconic images like Marilyn Monroe. I'm thinking of the Warhol and that kind of thing, and as soon as you see them, it's just got that shock factor, hasn't it? It just grabs you.
Yeah, well, I try and use images that aren't so overproduced. I always try and find, it's quite nice because recently they've released a whole load of pictures of Marilyn that haven't really been seen before.
Oh, right.
So I've tried to use images that haven't been overdone, so people they can tell it's Marilyn obviously, but it's not that same repeated image.
Yeah.
But I'm really inspired by Florence Welch and Paloma Faith. I just find them really inspiring. They're quite artistic characters as a whole rather than just being musicians. So people tend to inspire me, and images that I think are beautiful, I can sort of see if they're going to create a great piece of art or not.
And one of the benefits of people inspiring you is that you do commissions, don't you?
Yes, I do, yeah. I've done about 40 commissions over the past year, and I do stitched and painted commissions, and the stitched ones start around 15 and then the painted ones start around 50, so it's usually portraits, but I've just started going into animals, which I do as well.
Which is easier?
People, just because I'm used to doing people, but I tend to be quite good at both of them. The people that have received them have always been really pleased with what I've done, so it's really nice.
That's good. The old adage of children and animals may still apply in some cases. So how long has it been since you've graduated?
2 years. Graduated summer 2010, so I've really pushed myself hard to try and keep on being creative rather than just doing an admin job or something. I've been really trying to keep on producing art, because it's difficult at the moment, but I'm really trying to find a market for the work that I produce.
You say you found it difficult. There are a lot of people that always say, seemingly on loop every year, I've graduated, I can't find any work, I can't do anything, and yet they may have a passion and they think, well, there's no point in me even bothering to pursue it. What would you say to those people?
Just keep as positive and keep as creative as possible, and there's so many different ways that you can put your work out there for free. I mean, you can create a free Facebook page, which I've got, and I've got a website, and I'm on Twitter, and there's just so many avenues that you can go down to try and show your work. And also a great thing is to put up your work in pubs and bars, because they're quite often looking for pieces to put up, and it's a good way to show your work without having to necessarily put it through a gallery.
That's a very good idea, actually, and it's one of the things that maybe give you a call and ask you to come in today. Is I looked and I saw your Twitter, saw your Facebook, saw your website, and I saw that there was lots of material on there, and obviously you're taking it seriously and seem to be enjoying it, doing well for yourself. But there are a lot of people that do self-publicise, and then when you go to their website, their Facebook, there's nothing on it.
No, you've got it takes effort. I've got a blog as well on my website. I'm not as great as keeping that up to date just because I've got everything else. That's one of my things I must do, is I've got to keep more up to date with my blog. But no, definitely, I find Facebook makes it so easy just to upload images straight on there, and you can just keep it so up to date that then you can sort of wait a week or two to update your website. At least it's somewhere for people to look and see what you're up to, because if you're not keeping it up to date, then there's no point in people really checking on it.
That's true, and you don't want to fall into the trap of keeping your eye only on updating your Facebook and your Twitter and then not actually producing the work, or producing the work and then not advertising yourself on Facebook and Twitter. It's got to be a nice balance.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what other bits and pieces have you brought in today? You've got some
I do stitch work based on sort of just images that I find inspiring. So they're produced as cards, but they're more like pieces of art that you can send to people. Whenever I do them for weddings and do them for birthdays, and people always tend to frame them, so it's more like a piece of art that you can send, and then it's a nice little package to send it in. I did a friend that got married, I did it for their wedding, did a picture of them for their wedding photo for their present, and the groom absolutely adored it, and he framed it, and then I did it for their first year anniversary, and because it's paper, it works really well as like a first year present.
So it's much more personal.
Yeah, definitely, and it seems to work really well as a form.
Right, so if people want to see your work and find out more about you, obviously there's your website, but the important thing at the moment is the exhibition.
Yes.
How much longer have people got?
It's on tomorrow. It's at Bridge Cottage, Chinham Road in Bartley, and it's SO42LL, and it's on from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's the last day, but we're also planning on having another sale on the run up to Christmas, so if people want to check my website, which is www.sarahmichellepaints.co.uk, then I should keep that up to date with anything that we're planning on doing.
And your Twitter username,
it's
Facebook?
SMH Paints.
Super. Thank you very much, Sarah, for coming today. I'm sorry it's only a brief chat. Best of luck with the final day tomorrow, and best of luck with the future.
That's great. Thanks very much.
Thank you.